Hello. So it's been a while since I have done a workout video, mainly because they hadn't been doing well, and honestly, I hate looking at myself working. I hate looking at myself. Period. However, there has been a slight change, and that is I have currently lost 56 pounds. When I did my last video, I weighed around 298, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But now I'm down to 242, and I did that on a 2,000 calorie a day diet and working out 3 times a week. And I do 3 full body workouts with cardio. I used to do cardio at the beginning, but it started really affecting my strength. So now I do it at the end. Now, what I used cardio for was to warm up. And now that I put the cardio at the end, I have a stretching routine that I do at the beginning, and that's what I'm doing. I warm up the shoulders, the neck, the hips, and then I do some jumping from side to side just as a little power move. Um, it might seem a little weird, but honestly, the famed Bronze Era wrestler, strongman, and bodybuilder George Hackenschmidt, who's also given credit as the creator of the hack squat and the bench press, recommended jumping as part of his routine. So um, I just I added some just for that. Now, if you look, you can see the flab hanging off my arms. That's because I lost weight too fast. I started my current diet back on January 2nd because there was no way I was starting a diet on January 1st. Um, and so I weighed 298. The last time I weighed myself, which was last Tuesday, well, I was at 242. So I lost 56 pounds since January 2nd. That's a little bit too fast. And that's because when you've been overweight, obese, morbidly obese, like I was. I'm no longer morbidly obese. I'm just obese. um, the skin stretches, so and also being older, it's even less elastic. So if you lose weight too fast, you get the hanging bits. So all right, exercise number 1: standing shoulder press. I'm doing 100 pounds. As you can see, I do it behind the neck. And as I said before, I prefer behind the neck because I just feel like I have more control and it's less stress on my spine and I have more stability. I know people say don't do behind the neck anymore, but I just prefer it. Another change I've done to my lifting routine is um, besides doing 3 full bodies, is I only do 1 set per exercise. Um, and I might have mentioned this in previous videos that, I had shoulder pain, I had stiffness. Going from first 6 to 3 sets and then 3 sets to 1 set, I've noticed a lot less shoulder pain, a lot less joint pain, a lot less back pain, and a lot less stiffness. And you'll forgive me, I just have the phone um, on a stand, so I don't have anybody shooting this. I don't really know where I'm supposed to stand, but I adjust it. I'm doing my second shoulder exercise, side delt raises, because they're working your side delt, so they're side delt raises. Also, I try to keep the rep range between 10 and 12 reps. It was 6 to 8 reps for a while, but once again, I lightened the weight, increased the reps, and I've noticed a lot less joint muscle pain. Also, another change is I'm keeping a log book where I log all my exercises, I log the weight, I log how many reps I've done. And then afterwards, I just write down how I felt during the workout and my thoughts. So now I'm doing my first leg workout, which is squats. Now I'm doing 170 pounds, which is a major decrease, but I am doing that because even though I could never go to like full depth, I thought I was pretty decent, but without a mirror, I could never check. Well, back when I used to go to Planet Fitness, they got squat racks in and they had mirrors behind them. So I loaded the bar up, went to squat, and I could finally see myself, and I realized that I was barely getting any depth at all. So that told me, one, I needed mirrors. I used to think mirrors were for vanity and were not needed, but after seeing how bad my form had gotten on squats, I had no, they really do serve a purpose. So I got the mirrors and I really lightened the weight to concentrate on depth. And I'm still not going to full depth, but I just never have been able to, even with no weight. Like just body weight squats, I can't go to full depth. So now I'm doing standing calf raises. There's 300 pounds on the bar. And yeah, I put a board down on the floor to help give me a little bit more stability. I have carpet on the floor, which is fine. I like the carpet, but it can be a bit squishy, especially for standing calf raises. So I put a little board on the ground. Like I said, I try to do 2 exercises per body part. The exceptions are back, which I do 3 of, and abs, which I do 1 of. So I'm beginning the back portion. Now I said that I increased the reps to 10 to 12, except for one exercise, deadlifts. I'm still going heavy on those. I got 240, and I do this for 5 reps, which is 1 more rep than last week. Yeah, deadlifts are the only ones that I still really go heavy on. And if you're wondering, hey, didn't you say that you could do 290? Yeah, could. Since starting my diet and being in a caloric deficit, I lost a lot of strength. And I think maybe part of that too was having cardio at the beginning as well, which is another reason why I put cardio at the end now. So bent over rows for 120 pounds. And the reason I do 3 exercises for my back is because my back needs a lot of work. Like, I'm not happy with my back. I'm not happy with anything, but I'm definitely not happy with my back development. I think my back just needs a little bit more stimulus. And if you're wondering why I only do 1 ab, it's because even though I've lost 56 pounds, even though I've gone from being morbidly obese to simply obese, I'm still obese. So working on my abs would just increase them under the fat and then make me look fatter. So, but I also realized I had to start working on them because I don't want droopy belly, um, or droopier belly. So yeah, that's what. So that's why I've slowly started incorporating them behind the neck lat pull downs, which I really enjoy. Once again, another no now, but that's just, that's what I know. That's what I'm comfortable with. Now hammer grips I do in front, um, but for traditional grip lat pull downs, I just prefer them behind the head, behind the neck. Um, and I think it's good to hit the lats from different angles. Okay, chest bench press is 130 pounds. Once again, massive decrease in strength, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm not who I used to be, so. And this isn't about being who or what I was. This is about being the best version of my self that I am today. And that's what this should be about. It should be about exercise, shouldn't be about aesthetics or, you know, vanity. It should be about longevity. It should be about health. It should be about being the best version of yourself that you can be as you currently are. So I'm writing it in and I'm going to be grabbing my dumbbells because the next exercise for chest are dumbbell flies. And if you look, you will see that I made a mistake. So I bought some vintage adjustable dumbbells, and they weigh about 5 pounds each. I weighed them just to make sure. So I wanted 30 pounds for flies. So if the bar weighs 5 pounds, I needed to add 25 pounds to get it up to 30. So on one dumbbell, I have two 10s and two 2.5s, which is, 25 pounds, which would take the total weight to 30. Unfortunately, because I'm a fucking idiot, I put two 5s on the other one. So, and I didn't realize, so in my right arm, I have a 30-pound dumbbell, and in the left arm, I have a 35-pound dumbbell. So, yeah. My bad. And I think it's kind of horrible that I even realized it while I was doing it. But it is what it is. You can't change the past. Alright. Now, this is my one and only ab exercise for this workout. I have the bench set up in a decline position. Now, I will say I am glad I recorded this because I didn't realize I wasn't going all the way down. I thought I was going all the way down in the decline, but I see that I'm actually not. I'm only going not even to 90 degrees. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to work on. And right now, I'm still just doing body weight. Now that I know I have to work on depth, I will work on that, still with body weight, but eventually, as I continue, I'll start using a plate. A 25-pound plate, a 35, 50, depending on where I'm at. Alright, now I'm getting ready to do arms. So arms, I do straight bar curl, and I'm doing those with the 5.5 foot bar, simply because I like curling with the shorter bar. I prefer the 7-foot bar for, the compound exercises. But for curling, I definitely prefer the short bar. So this is 65 pounds. 50 pounds a plate plus a 15-pound bar. And I know some people say that it's not optimal doing only one set. Um, but I've had good results with it. Um, the main result being, once again, less muscle pain, less joint pain. And you can say that it's not optimal, but if optimal means, tearing a ligament, tearing a muscle, not being able to work out for a week because I hurt too much or I can't move as well, then that kind of defeats the purpose. I'd rather be somewhat suboptimal and be able to continue to work out and move than to take in oh to take in be optimal then get an injury and not be able to do any of that. So yeah. Alrighty. Final weight exercise is tricep press down. I have 50 pounds on the machine. I know it's more than that because the yoke has weight, but I also know that because of how gravity works, the bar is putting a little, is assisting with taking a little weight off, and the pulleys as well. So without knowing the exact amount of resistance, I just go by the plates. Alright, so now I'm getting ready to do my cardio at the end. This is my elliptical machine, which is what I use for cardio. I'm not going to bore you with watching me walk on an elliptical for 16 minutes. So I will say is bye-bye, and I'll see you for round 2. Later. Bye.